go. Welcome to the after show. Had some people wondering about it, and we got done a little earlier than sometimes. So if anybody wants in, you can message me on Discord, and you're welcome to join. Let me pull up the live chat. So after a while, I've kind of gotten, like positions of things on my screen fixed. So, Stringer News 1 says first, except for C4 was first according to this. So Amy Hogan, Stringer News, Factard, QED, Stonehard Bread. Oh, I always get it wrong. Mozzarella Alice Mist, Area 5085 Restorations. So Negative Exponents. We can always scam bait some Indians. Oh yes. These scammer calls. I get multiple per day, not just one, but like lots and lots every day. And I know the number. It's the first 6 digits of my area code half the time. And yeah, it's credit card stuff, and I have a whole script that I go through if I want to. I'm Ernest Borgnine, who is a dead actor. He was in Airwolf. If you watched Airwolf, you'll know how awesome Airwolf is. He was in McHale's Navy and a few other things, and he's dead, right? So any American, that's kind of older might know. So, but I know what I need to say to get through their stuff, to get to talking to, like, I have a fake number, fake credit card number I use. I even have a fake number that I put on the phone number. So, Boldy's Ministry of Jesus the Christ, who is quite unsmart flat earther who actually thinks that guy has a point, is here. How you doing, Boldy? If anybody is interested in joining the live stream, let me know, and I can send it to you on Discord is easy, or I can send it to you in email. So now, Boldy, if you start getting inflammatory, you're not going to get too far. But leave them for now, moderators, for the most part. But it's not flat, Boldy, and empirical measurements show that. So, and Airwolf was one of the best 80s shows around. That's right. So Negative Exponent says, I've got a VM on all my PCs with an operating system just waiting for them. It's literally addicting once you get started. Yes, I do too. I have a version of XP that I use. It's actually I snapshotted one that I use to do modeling for crossovers for speakers. That's some old software that's not new, so it runs well on XP. And of course, XP is very lightweight on the resources today. So, AT2, how you doing, buddy? Are you interested in joining? Let's see. I'll send it to you anyway. You're exhausted, yeah, I suppose. I used the radius of the equator instead of 35-degree latitude in my EDFOS calculation. You're right, I did. And yeah, Ranty Flat Earth did a whole video today about Martin Lidkey falling for a phishing scam and giving out his YouTube password. He lost control of his channel. And I popped into that live stream for just a short time today and mentioned a couple things that I do. Yeah, that's the kind of stuff that I see all day. So that's Effie British is I don't know. I haven't listened to any of his stuff. Don't know who he is, but yeah, I just because I don't like what they do, I would not want them to fall for some scammer. So Stonehard Bread never got any of that scammer stuff. I guess living in Germany has its upside. Yes, and they think only flat earthers get that. Yeah. I get that context. Like almost every time there's something bad that happens to a flat earther, they think it's somebody targeting them. No, everybody has the same experience. When they don't care, they're not targeting you because you're flat earther. They're targeting you because you have a YouTube channel and they have some benefit that they can get from it, probably money. So anyway. Geistview was not around today. That's he's often around sending me some cool stuff. He had a nice he has a telescope and he does some really cool stuff. So let me hold on. Too many screens. And there you go. That is the old video there. Oh, I'm showing the... Yes. Hold on a second. It's the live chat from the previous video. Awesome. I have to change the chat every time. Put in the new URL. Eaton. Actually... That's not a good answer, Boldy. If you thought that the Earth was flat, then maybe you'd have some evidence. But you've never actually brought any evidence in any of the chat or any of the video. I've looked at your videos on your site, but it's not. You don't have any evidence, so that kind of makes you a liar. And we've got Jared here.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, Jared. I was just talking to Boldy. Boldy, you didn't read my other comments. Okay, what other comments with the evidence were you putting out there? So, how you doing, Jared?
It's been a day.
It's been a day.
Between class and work and then everything in between, I'm surprised I'm coherent enough to have a conversation at this moment.
Well, good. Oh yeah, Boldy said there's plenty of evidence on my Flat Earth playlist that I didn't watch. I've actually I didn't go look at your Flat Earth playlist. I've seen lots of Flat Earth videos. I spend a lot of time watching Flat Earth videos, and none of them yet. So unless you have a list of videos that nobody else has ever had, you don't have evidence. So,
well, since Boldy's out there listening, let's find a way to whittle it down. You have this entire list of your own videos, Boldy. Do us a favor. Give us the title of the one video that you believe is your best evidence that is rock solid. Actually, you know what? Someone should probably do a show that is titled that. Bring your best.
Planer Walk has done that. Try to get people in and yeah. They didn't bring any.
Yeah, that's a bad hat. Typically, right. What ends up happening. So he said, "My Flat Earth playlist." No.
Give me one.
Yeah, give us your best one.
I'm looking at your playlists. I don't see one that says Flat Earth. I see Boldy Polly Pranks from a long time ago.
So
My
I see a
goodness.
comment from our friend Lemonbird out there that I believe you and I both are quite adept at our professional skills to be able to address this one.
Well, let me be honest. You're way more up to date than I am.
Oh well, but still, this one should stick out to you.
Mendeleev
The
talked about Aether.
Yep, that's the one. And the end of it, Maxwell's electronics equations need it to work.
Oh, that's a high claim.
Funny, I never heard the ether mentioned during any of my electronics coursework that I've done, both in the military and in the collegiate setting.
Yeah, interesting. Well, maybe you could post that evidence there, Lemonbird. I know you said last week that you're not much for math, so I don't think you're gonna have much. So Boldy says, and you have the nerve to call a truth or a liar when you're repping Satan liars. Haha, really? Call me a liar when you are one. Call it globe when it flat. Okay, grammar. Try some grammar, okay? And yes, absolutely, Boldy, you're a liar. You're an absolute liar. Every truther ever that I've met is a liar because they don't care about truth. They care about supporting their pre-selected outcome. So, Baldy, what is the name of the video? Because I don't find a playlist on your page that has that says flat Earth. So, created playlists. Yes, and you come back with the same old tired crap. You are a liar and a coward because you know it's flat, but work for no Satan. I know it's not flat. All right. Well, here's maybe more. Oh, my goodness.
And come on, Baldy, you know your channel. Come on, give us the best video with the best evidence for your claim. And here's the thing: I'll give you a fair shake.
Yeah.
Let's see the video. If there is some truth to it, guess what? I'll say that, but I need to know what video to look at.
All right. You are acting like you can't find it. My goodness.
I don't know your channel, Baldy. It's your channel, your videos. I would hope you would know what's on there.
All right, here it is. 4,463 subscribers. Proof 9/11 controlled demolition, 28 views. 2 weeks ago video, 144 views. Dude, your subscribers are from your skateboarding days and your pranking days. All right. Here it is. Are you looking on the screen? Is it here? God's flat earth versus Satan's globe? Is that the one you're talking about?
Oh, that.
Let's see. Truth Soldier? I need to check things a little bit before.
He said yes, apparently, to the prior one. All right.
So, this is one of my favorites. I love this. So this is on your list here. The title of the video is 100% Proof the Earth is Flat. All right, let's skip past the ad here.
Well, hello there, and thank you for tuning in.
All right, I've seen this video. I'll skip ahead. It's actually somebody else's video that he posted and did not give the link to the original. Vincent Rhodes, you're a dick.
Fascinating.
I don't remember the original one, but it doesn't matter. He gives a little introduction and then pops over to this video here, which is inset. He's watching it on Facebook. And
You guys
and the guy, I'm not going to do the audio. The guy basically just looks at his Gleason map here. Right? I'm playing it right now, Boldy. He shows the Gleason map, and then he explains his claims that the sun travels around the North Pole, which is completely and utterly impossible. And in 10 days, we have an excellent opportunity to verify that. Anyway, so he does that for a while. He pokes around on this map and makes an explanation about it. And I'll move forward here. Then he brings out this other map that he says is from, that's older. And I did look up this other map, and I got a picture of it. Because I do my own research. Let's see, what was the year of that? The flat map of the real world, they said. Wait. Oh, it's hilarious, some of these things. So I'll pull it up here. I'm still going to keep playing the video. But there's only so much in the video, right? They're just explaining this stuff. So this is just another variant of the AE map, or the right. You can see there's the North Pole, supposedly. And here. So this is an Australian-centric one, because they put Australia right side up there. But strangely, it's wider than it is tall. So if this is 100% proof, then apparently Australia is misshapen like this. Is that right? Oh, all right. So Danny D's wondering what happens in 10 days. In 10 days is the equinox.
I know. The autumnal equinox.
Yes, exactly. And on that day, Boldy, the sun will rise due east everywhere. Due east. Now, what prediction do you think the flat Earth map has for where the sun will rise on that day? Any idea there, Boldy? What do you think, Boldy? What direction do both of these maps predict that the sun will rise for Australia on that day? What do you think? What do you think Jared? What do you think it's going to be?
For a North Pole azimuthal equidistant, well, by that map it should be, what was that, north by northeast?
Yeah, about 45 degrees. Well, actually, southern hemisphere. In Australia, it's going to be a little different. But I have here. Let me see. I'm gonna change the screen here because I have Photoshop up, and I gotta find the. Why can't I find it? He's saying that I'm scared to play it. I'm not scared to play it, dude. I've seen all of these. You're not showing anything new. You're not actually showing any evidence, because as soon as you put up the AE map like that, I know full well that it's not going to work. It's not going to work at all. So let me do this. Let me flip it over to Photoshop.
Now, while you are pulling that up, someone did mention the way the travel between Sydney and Melbourne would be on that map, and I just have to say, I was speaking with some Aussies the other day, and who did say that I had to come back down to that wonderful continent and country. But I put one caveat. If I go to the Melbourne area, I have to be able to have a track-ready motorcycle, and there has to be a track day at Phillip Island available. Sorry, but that's what's got to go on for me to make that much of an effort to go down there at this point.
Man, that's tough. I'd go for any reason. Australia sounds fun.
It is, but at the same time, if I could shoehorn that in on it as well, especially at a world-class track like that, that I've been watching races on television and other video media for 25 years now.
All right, so you see the circling sun predictions on a flat Earth map here. So Boldy and Lemonbird in the chat here. This Lemonbird has staked the claim. That's your world right there. So he claims this is accurate. So unfortunately, it's not. So here we have the predicted flat Earth angle for the sunrise and sunset on flat Earth from the equator. So all places on the equator have the same prediction, actually. What do you think of that, Lemonbird? So do you think this is an accurate prediction, Boldy? Is this what they're going to see? I don't know. Is Boldy gonna go in with this?
I have my doubts.
Lemonbird says looks good with perspective. Okay, well that's good. We can calculate perspective. What do you think? Yeah, Boldy's answer is Bible says it's stationary. Okay, no, Boldy, it doesn't. And I'm waiting for your answer. Is this an accurate prediction using flat Earth map? This is the sun traveling around the equator, and that's the view from the equator in the Congo in Africa. So is this accurate, Boldy? I don't know. It'll be interesting if he answers that, because he's gonna want to deflect. He's gonna want to run away, because this is real quickly gonna be pretty embarrassing for him.
Of course, which is why he went with the typical argument of
Oh.
my holy book.
He said firmament Genesis. No, he Boldy, I'm asking, is this an accurate prediction for the sunrise angle on the equinox, which is 11 days away from the equator? Everybody that lives on the equator... I'm not reading your comments. I am reading your comments. You're not answering the question, Boldy. You're running away from the question. Is this the angle that we're going to see the sunrise on the equinox? He's my mom bakes cakes, says he said already.
No. So Lemonbird said yes. I've only seen comments about the Bible and trying to shotgun other topics instead of actually addressing the question.
Yeah, I don't see your answer saying this is the correct angle or this is an incorrect angle.
So let me give a try. Baldy, the image you are seeing on the screen right now, is that a fair representation of where the sunrise would be taking place from that black position on the equator in 11 days during the equinox? Yes or no?
So I'm searching back, looking. Not seeing an answer saying yes. That is the angle that we will see it. Yeah, he's like, I think you're scared to play the video and audio, lol. No. He hasn't answered for a while. I don't talk that fake science talk. Interesting. What's fake about this?
Well, and then his next comment is fake science is at war with the Bible. That God is the creator. He told us it's his footstool. If that's the case, why aren't we all squished in part of his toe jam?
Yeah, where's his feet? If this is the footstool, then we should see the feet. So, all right, well, he's obviously scared of the answer because he knows it's a lie. So, all right, here is right here. This is the observation right there. the sun rises due east and the sun sets due west, and traces a straight path across the sky. Now there's videos of this happening. If you want to look them up, do that on your own time. So according to observations, just observations on the equinox, on the equator, so 2 days a year on the equator, we see the sun travel straight, right? This demands that the equator be straight. So anybody that is a flat earther needs to be honest right now and say, oh, the equator must not be a circle. It must be straight, because observations demand that it be straight. So that's a general perspective direction, says Lemon Bird. The city line in front of us looks small and scrubbed right in front of us, but get closer, will open up its real size, be revealed perspective. No, I'm sorry. Perspective does not change the lateral angle of something. If something is over there, perspective won't make it look like it's over there, right? And why would perspective make it look that one direction and not the other direction, right? Why would it make it look that way? So Boldy says, just want to let you Satan agents know that the truth wins, Jesus wins, unbeatable. Yes. Here's the deal. You have lied. As soon as you said that particular map is accurate, you have lied. And this right here is the evidence for your lie. So boldly quit lying. You need to, right now, face up to the fact that you've been lying. So it's kind of pathetic, dude, for you to call yourself a truther, see this right here, and then just ignore it.
Well, and here's the worst part with that is not just that Boldy is sharing this disinformation willfully amongst the chat, but in order to say it with such vehemence, he's not just lying to everyone around him, he's lying to himself.
Yeah. He has so deceived himself that he doesn't see his own lies.
Negative exponents. He's just a young Earth creationist. Well, there's a problem with that, negative exponents. There are a multitude of young Earth creationists who laugh at flat earthers.
Yes. Lemon Bird says, you don't know enough about how things move in perspective across the sky to make an accurate claim. Yes, I do.
Really?
Yes, it's not actually that complicated. Why would it make it look 45 degrees to the north when it's actually due east? Or the other way around, right? Why would it make it look 45 degrees south when it's actually 45 degrees north? That doesn't make any sense. Why that direction? That there's nothing to explain why that direction. And crazily enough, if you were to move down to take this measurement from farther south, right? At the southern tip down in South Africa, if you take this measurement, it's even more of an angle. Why? Why that direction? It doesn't make any sense. So, all right, boldly, you keep lying because you haven't yet owned up to the lie that you told on your own video, on the video playlist on your YouTube page, claiming the Earth travels circles around the North Pole. You have lied about that. So you should probably take down any videos that talk about any map that's similar to this one, because this one thing right now disproves them all. Or Lemon Bird, because stuff that's too far, even if it's off to the right, will get farther and still appear to go towards the center of your vision. Perspective makes things tend towards the center of your vision. So if I stand and look due north, why would it make it look... What if I look due south? None of that makes sense, Lemon Bird. None of that makes sense. Why that particular direction? It doesn't change the direction it's appearing to come from when I turn my head around. Oh, Yes. Boldy, you keep lying, though. But you say I speak all truth, but you haven't. You have a video claiming that the sun travels in circles around the North Pole when it doesn't. That's a lie. So, all right. Well, this is which one was this for? I did this for. Oh yeah, this is just my generic AE map, so I can rotate things around. There you go. 0 degrees north, 20 degrees east. Predicted azimuth 45 degrees and 315. Observed is 90 and 270. So there,
almost like the
go.
prediction of a globe.
Yes, interesting that is. So Junior says, Boldy is God's greatest blessing, allowing people like you to believe you and only you know the truth. Yeah. Yeah. Boldy wants to bait me into a copyright claim. Yes. Yeah. But all right, you still haven't addressed your lie, Boldy. What's going on? You're every time you don't address it, you're just getting deeper into the lie. Negative exponents. What's the internal angles of an equilateral triangle?
That is a fair question at this point.
I don't think he'll get it. I don't. Let's see.
Who was it? Flat Out Hero or someone else a few weeks back came up with the most interesting answer.
What was that?
It actually was an answer that took some thought. 78.
Yes. Yeah. Math isn't flat Earth strength.
No.
Yeah.
Although, do you mind if I do a bit of a plug-in announcement and a schedule for a show that's coming up in a couple weeks?
Sure.
Logic and Reason, a new channel started by Logical Troglodyte and Steaming Cup of Reason. This past weekend, we had the first episode where myself and Conspiracy Cats spoke with the two hosts about education versus indoctrination. Not this coming Sunday, but the Sunday after, so in 2 weeks, well, just under 2 weeks, will be episode 2, where myself and Mike Burleson are going to be joining the hosts to answer the question, is math reality?
Sounds good.
And what I found most interesting about the way that schedule worked out, the Navy is taking over that show. Between Troglodyte, myself, and Mike, we are all Navy veterans.
Oh yeah. Now, are any of them quartermasters?
Of us three, no.
Okay.
However, we do know someone. I wonder if he's still awake and around. We do have a submariner who was trained on some of that stuff and does have some insight into the navigation side of things. Let me see if Jay Brown is awake.
Okay, I will read the super chat from Stringer News 1. $5 says this super chat is copyrighted, and then a C inside of a circle. You'll be hearing from my lawyers. Oh crap! Oh no. So I ask about quartermaster because I work with a quartermaster, and we had a nice long conversation. and he talked about a lot of the different things that they do, and of course with this was in the early 90s that he was in, and they had better navigation than the old school stuff, but they were constantly drilling on using only, you know, lower technology solutions just in case stuff would break.
Oh yeah, that is not an uncommon thing in the military. As a matter of fact, I was aviation support, and every maintenance action we did, either on an aircraft directly or on a piece of equipment removed from an aircraft, we had to track it through what was called a maintenance action form, a MAF, MAF. That was a computer-based system that if you watch VTW, every now and then you'll see some screenshots pop up of a program called Nalcomus. That was the computer-based tracking of these maintenance action forms. However, we always had to drill and practice for the contingency that the computer system was down. And we had to bust out the old 7-copy, what was called VIDSMAF, VIDSMAF, Visual Identification and Tracking System maintenance action forms. Those things were a pain in the balls to actually work with, because you had to use an actual legitimate ballpoint pen and write it very clearly but very firmly in order to get the carbon copy to go from copy 1 all the way down to copy 7.
Oh, jeez.
Not fun unless you were one of the supervisors who just had the joy of handing them out and then putting our printed workload out and telling everyone, figure it out. Let's see what you guys know.
Oh. Well,
but
my favorite part of the conversation with him is when he talked about the compass, right? And so he's on a ship, not on a submarine, and he, you know, I'm like, oh, what was the compass? Oh, it's the gyro compass.
Ooh.
So, all right. Boldy, I promoted you to a mod so you could post the link, so I will check that as soon as we finish this little conversation here. Anyway, so he talked to, and the gyro compass, of course, is a spinning gyroscope that points north, right, because of the rotation of the Earth. So you got a problem there. Flat earthers, gyro compasses work, and they still use them in ships. But they would use. It's very time consuming to really get it accurate, and so especially when they had to do stuff like they'd have to use stars and use a sextant off of stars, and there's a lot of math involved in that, because you need to find a star that you can see. Well, more than one, and they used about 3 of them, and get all the angles to that, and then you'd have to look up in your nautical almanac to see where the stars are, because we know where the stars are. They move constantly. So so stars move, gyro compass, Earth rotates, and predictions work. So all these things were pretty good. So all right, this is anything else you have there, Jared?
No, but it looks like Jay Brown did get the link to come in and join the conversation, as he is more versed in it than I am.
Oh, so cool. What were we talking about?
We were talking about quartermasters in the Navy.
What specifically about the quartermasters? I was what's called a Nav ET, a navigation electronics technician, on a submarine, and we're a combination of quartermaster, IT, and ET all rolled into one. So I have training in doing all this stuff.
Well, that's cool. I had it came up because I work with somebody that used to be a quartermaster, and he was telling me how, just giving me an overview of how they did their navigation using the gyro compass, and sometimes they would not be allowed to use it. They'd have to do just based off of stars, or during the day off of Dead Reckoning.
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty standard for the surface Navy. On the submarine, we unfortunately don't get too much of an option or the opportunity to do that. Most of the time, if we're not using the actual gyro compasses, we're using visual when we're surfaced near land. I've never personally used the sextant in the field, actually out in open waters, but I did have training on it while in A school. So,
Well, that's cool. All right, so Boldly has posted a link. I looked at it. It's a 17-minute video of a guy, and somebody else has looked at it, just talking about how the Bible supports, makes claims about flat Earth. So that is not evidence. That is claims. So, Boldy, evidence. The Bible, at best, is claims. If it were to say it's flat, it's a claim. It's only your opinion that it says it's flat. It's not clear. So, Boldy, evidence. Something that's evidence. So, I'm not going to play that because it's not evidence. It's just claims. Okay? All right. Jay Brown, is that right? Thoughts by Jay Brown. Oh, yes, I know you. You said you were on a sub?
yeah.
And they use the gyro compass on the sub too?
Yes, we on my specific boat we used the electrostatically supported gyro navigators (ESGN). We use two of them for redundancy purposes because when we're actually doing our navigation underwater, we have what's called a circle of uncertainty that we can be plotted anywhere inside that area. Because of my platform was a ballistic missile submarine platform, that's why we had the backup ESGN. In that circle, when we have both of them running, it stays fixed at a certain distance, and we're good. And we'll go up every, sometimes every 6, sometimes every 12 hours to go and get a GPS fix along with the radio broadcast to make sure that we're still within that circle.
Mm-hmm.
If either one of those gyros went down, that position of uncertainty starts to expand over time until we get to the GPS fix, and then it narrows it back down. And as you watch, it actually forms a cone out.
Yeah.
One of the funny things about the navigational charts that we use, which are exactly the same as the surface Navy, is that the further north and further south from the equator you go, the lines of latitude get closer and closer together. And when you're plotting distances on the chart, you generally use the line of latitude to measure distance with your dividers. And I was actually one who helped Schrodinger's cat do his first video about
with the compass rose.
Yeah, the compass rose and the latitude line or longitude lines, converging near the top of the charts. I was hoping to get two giant regular sized charts to show the difference, one from like the Hampton Roads area and the one up in Anchorage, Alaska, and you can see the difference because they would have been the exact same scale. So you couldn't claim that I was using a different size scale, a different size chart scale. So,
well, that's cool.
Yep. Oh, a 5-minute video this time.
All right, so I'm starting it. Yeah, I watched this whole Rob Skiba thing today, actually. And it's good comedy, and I will play this one. So let's see. I will present so that you guys can see what I'm doing. I will present my OBS. You won't hear it, but switch modes. All right, you see that?
Yep.
Okay, and pausing it. So somebody took Rob Skiba's and mirrored it with, they actually gave him a credit this time, so good. Let's see. Oh, I changed never mind that. I gotta change it. It's the Photoshop. There it is. It's flat Earth sun magnification. It's a little bit off. So, first thing. That is, oh, that's the wrong one. Just a second. There you go. That's the right one. So it starts out with Rob Skiba's lie of how the sun travels in circles around it, around the North Pole, which we've already completely destroyed. It totally doesn't work unless you somehow have a valid explanation for why. For who knows why it says it's coming in, changing the apparent angle. So now that the problem is Rob Skiba doesn't know what a solar filter is. So that video there, he's talking about, I'll do the audio.
You can always see that there are clouds near the horizon when they try to show this. Normally, this illusion does not happen.
And that's, is that Cool Hard Logic? You guys,
I'm not hearing the audio.
yeah, oh, that's right. All right, in the chat.
So he said that flat earthers are always hiding it behind clouds or whatever. Well, there's plenty of footage out there you can find where there's no clouds involved. This is from a really good video online.
All right. So I don't know why, if it was Cool Hard Logic, why he said something about the clouds. That doesn't make sense to me. But here it is. This is from Phuket Word, actually. It is a video of the sun setting with no solar filter. So it's going to be wrong. It's not the size of the sun. It's the glare. Typical flat earther lies.
Called Flat Earth Proof Sunset Off Pocket. I'm not sure if that's exactly how you pronounce it.
So there you go. Another lie, claiming that that's the size of the sun. Boldy, you love your lies.
Huket. Really interesting, showing a sunset. I believe this was actually somewhere off the equator. Again, you'd have to watch that video for yourself, but it clearly shows the sun changing in
that never gets
diameter
old.
as it goes away. So please take note not to ignore.
I'm an
this
amateur
evidence.
photographer. I don't post
Other
much of my
videos
stuff
you've
because
seen
I'm a perfectionist
where
when
it
it
looks
comes
like
to
it's
things.
going in an arc like that.
Of like a still video or still picture.
Yeah.
Because I used to be the photograph petty officer on my boat back when digital cameras were just coming out, and I was supposed to give pictures over to the public affairs officers, and I wouldn't give them to them because they're just garbage. If they'd let me take them with the actual film and had it sent off to be processed, would have turned out much better. But it even I know to use the right solar filter for the right lighting, and if you're gonna say that, you know, like some of these flat earthers that use just basic welding glass or not even welding glass as a solar filter, they just don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah, you have to use the proper tool. So Boldy's saying, just keep playing it. Boldy, I stopped it here because that was a lie, and I wanted to address the lie. So there's another lie for you, buddy.
And going off into the distance.
All right, we're playing it.
Other video.
Okay, so here, I love this. This is it's showing that the sun is shrinking a small amount, 306 pixels, 301 pixels, 295 pixels. I don't think that this has a solar filter on it. But here's the deal. The size doesn't match still, right? Even if this 306 to 295 is an accurate width, when the sun is in the middle of the sky versus when it's at the next to sunset, the size needs to vary by at least 2x, sometimes 3x, depending on where you are, according to the Flat Earth map and Flat Earth math. So, Boldy, more lies.
Where people have taken and used filters and whatnot and analyzed the sun moving and then done measurement of pixels across the screen, showing that it does in fact look like it gets.
It would have been convenient if
a
they
little bit
kept all
smaller
the
in some
circles
cases.
there.
In some cases,
Yeah.
it gets a lot smaller.
Now here's the problem, Boldy. According to Flat Earth, if how high do you think the sun is? Rob Skiba, he says 3,000 miles in this video. 3,000 miles. If the sun is 3,000 miles high, it could never get this low. Perspective demands that it can't be this low. So Lemonbird says, to avoid the obvious conclusion the sun changes size, we'll use a special filter. This is mind-killing stuff. Yeah, buddy. It's glare. If you don't understand glare, I'm sorry. This isn't a difficult concept. Take a picture of a street light when it's on and when it's off, and you tell me how big that street light looks when it's on. It's giant.
It's like many people don't go driving anymore these days at night.
Yeah.
In this case, from 302 pixels to 290. And then, of
So
course,
that
there's
is not
this video
a
right
solar
here,
flare or a solar
which apparently
filter.
was shot in the desert, where there's going to be a lot less moisture. And so whenever there's less moisture,
It didn't look like they were
You're going
measuring
to
that last one at the right point.
No, it doesn't matter though. There was no solar filter on it. Now here's another lie.
you're going to obviously have less
here.
refraction, and you're going to
Here's the lie.
less moisture. And so whenever there's less moisture, you're going to obviously have less refraction and magnification.
Are you sure about that, Rob? You didn't check that out, did you?
You don't get to pick the anomalies that seem to agree with your views and ignore
But again,
the common observations that don't. And
this-
still call yourself an honest investigator.
This is without
That
a solar
is
filter.
intellectually dishonest.
So thinking about all this and thinking about what I had just shown you regarding atmospheric lensing,
You
magnification,
know who has really good
refraction, all that, with
video of the sun through a solar filter? Red's Rhetoric.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. All day long, he took it. Now I'm gonna preface something here, because this video is quite dishonest. And Rob Skiba is either extremely incompetent and stupid, or he's seriously lying here. So let me see here. It's the refraction and the direction that refraction makes things move is important. So let me see if I have that. Oh, you know where I have it? I have it on my website. Refraction. What does refraction in the atmosphere do? So here we go. I have several pictures here. So pay attention here, Boldy and Lemonbird. So here is a light path with a constant index of refraction. So in our atmosphere, there's a gradient of the index of refraction. And if there is no atmosphere, this is how it would act. We would see that the light would travel from the hotel to our eyes in a straight line. But because there is an index of refraction, it curves down. So that same light would not get to us. It would hit the ground in front of us. You see that, Lemonbird? See that, Boldy? So in order to see that light, that light doesn't get to us. Instead, the light that originally was angled and would go over your head is the light that makes it to your face, makes it to your eye, makes it to the camera, right? What it does is it changes the angle of the light as it comes into your eye, and it makes it appear higher. So downward refraction makes things appear higher. Okay, so here's this hotel. It looks higher. You got that, Boldy? Yeah, you are a liar like NASA, who you work for. Dude, if I worked for NASA, I think I'd probably make more money than this, because I don't really make much money doing this. All right, so that's what happens. Downward refraction causes things to look higher. So back to Rob Skiba's video here.
regard to cities and objects at a distance on the land, I got to thinking, I wonder how this would work with the sun and moon.
So right here, Rob Skiba shows things obscured from the bottom up. Thanks, Rob.
So this is what I came up with. I've got my magnifying sheet frame, and I created a little stand to paste the sun on it and keep it the same height over the flat surface of a table. So the sun is always going to be parallel with the surface.
So this is, so you can see here in the front, he's got this Fresnel lens. That's a circular lens. And in the back, he has his makeshift sun, which is in relation to the size of the Earth, way too low. It's not. It's not in relationship. It's not 3,000 miles high. And then he has this circular lens, and this lens is actually the wrong way. Yeah, Surf, it doesn't matter if the table is slanted, really. He shows it. It's not enough slant to make that much of a difference. So the error is the lens is working the wrong way.
And
since I already showed that downward refraction will cause things to look higher, we already know that, right?
check this out. All right, here's the first test of a sun moving over a flat surface, and with no atmospheric magnification, it does what we might expect it would. It gets smaller as it goes away from us.
And I'm totally fine with that.
All right, now let's see what happens when we add in our atmospheric magnification.
And what he's adding in is the opposite. He's having it go the wrong way. He's having it bend the light the wrong direction, and it's a circular lens, so it's actually not acting like a horizontal lens.
Again, water and
the atmosphere being a horizontal lens.
refraction. Water causes magnification and refraction, right? So let's bring the sun back. Oh, check this out.
So, and he lied there. Water causes magnification and refraction. This is not water. This is air with water dissolved in it. It's different.
Refraction bends the light downward.
And this demonstration is showing light bending upwards. And there is the big lie again, boldy, with more lies from Rob Skiba.
It made the sun set on a parallel surface.
By going the wrong direction.
As it was moving parallel, the same height, the whole way over a flat surface, the refraction caused the sun to set. Not only that...
It did, by having it go the wrong way.
Well, let's bring in the beginning of that little test, and we see that it maintained pretty much the same size, too. Pretty close. And of course that's because as it's moving away, the magnification is still taking place, and so even though the sun's further away than it was in the beginning of the test, the magnification basically preserved the same size, and the refraction made it set.
All right.
Of course,
your
again,
point, buddy.
depending on how much moisture is in the air, we could see that the sun doesn't appear to change in size at all as it goes down. We could see sometimes perhaps that it looks like it's getting bigger when it goes down. You ever see like a really big sunset or moonrise, moonset? You know, where...
Let me go back to that here. In a longer version of this video, he's talking with somebody and doing this thing about the Chicago skyline. And in that, they talk about how the refraction causes things to look higher, how they appear higher, not lower.
Big sunset or moonrise, moonset, you know, where one of them looks really large on the horizon. Well, that could be because there's lots of moisture in the air causing that effect. Or when there's less moisture in the air, obviously you won't have as much magnification taking place, and so it looks smaller as it goes away. So it's all relative to the amount of moisture that's in the air. Now, I'm just going to put forward a crazy idea for you to think about. And that is, if Rob Skiba could figure this out, I'm just going to go out on a limb here. I think it's quite possible that the creator of the cosmos could have figured out the same thing and engineered.
Yeah, so it's just more lies there, Boldy. That's all you've got, dude. It's lie after lie after lie. And what happened is you just weren't smart enough to understand it. I'm not trying to be mean. I get that science and math isn't your thing, but you don't have the background to understand it, and you bought the lie. So, well, Jay Brown.
Yep.
Jared, what do you think? What about that Rob Skiba's video there?
Skiba is always so entertaining. He tries so hard, but either gets it so wrong or gets the results wrong. He has actually shown the globe a number of times. It's quite hilarious.
Yeah.
Much in the way Ranty does.
So yeah, it's a ranty thing. So do you think? I kind of think that what he did is he messed around with that for a while until he got it to give his desired results. Right. That's my thing. My thought.
Yeah, with the Fresnel, the Fresnel lens.
Yeah.
It is very much a play, because I remember playing with those in ninth grade science, messing with the projector, because our science teacher would drone on and on, so every once in a while he'd throw that on the plate just to distort things and wake us up a bit. He had a very monotonous tone like Ben Stein.
Yeah. Hold on a second. New Zoo is saying the in-video chat feed needs to be scrolled downward. My goodness, that's right. It's kind of froze. I don't know how to fix that. Do you know what I'm talking about there, Jared?
Sorry, I stepped away for a moment.
The chat in OBS has frozen.
Has stopped.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to completely shut off the chat and turn it back on and let it refresh.
Like go to a different URL. Is that enough?
No, if you want to recreate the URL, trying it that way.
You guys know it's OBS.
So
I can't.
You might have to completely remove the source and re-add it.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Oh, like I got the custom CSS. I got the sizes there. All right, well, sorry. I'm going to leave it. I'll try again. You guys talk. You guys entertain the crowd.
All right. There was more entertainment going on elsewhere that I just have to step away from. Some people just don't know when to stop. It's getting to be rather hilarious.
I will say this, I kind of miss where's the chat in this thing? Haven't done Hangouts in a while. There's a nice view, Jared, that you might appreciate.
Ooh, let's take a redirect notice. Okay, come on. There. You suck. although
I'll show it to the people. Why does that suck?
So
Jared was on an aircraft carrier, and we always call the surface ships targets for that very simple reason of that picture right there, or this one that I just shared as well.
Oh, hold on.
yeah, just basic rivalry back and forth. It happens.
All in good fun.
There you go. Nice.
See, now that one is a nice, clear picture. But I do have to say, it's kind of bad when an untrained Airedale walking through one of the lower levels of the carrier hears an active sonar ping and no one else realizes it.
That is bad.
Yeah, and then we find out on the news a couple days later, hey, Chinese submarine surfaces within 5 nautical miles astern of United States aircraft carrier. And I'm like, wait a minute.
Oh, that's the thing is that I I know that the P3 guys and the various helicopters that drop the sonar buoys and the Dipper sonar, trying to find us. I know they like to think they know how to do their job, but they don't.
Well, that's all good for. I don't understand what you guys are saying, but that's. I like that picture.
Yeah, by the looks of it, this is taken from possibly a German U-boat.
Really?
I believe so. It's been a while since I've studied up on my optics and the crosshairs on them,
Oh
but
yeah.
I've never seen a U.S. boat have those, but I could be wrong. And most of the U.S. boats now are going to the infrared TV video masts that you control with an Xbox controller. So I'm not joking about that.
Really?
Yeah, let me see if I can pull up the article.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, the new technologies make a lot of things easier.
Easier, yes, but makes for some interesting means of maintenance.
Yeah, maintenance is a little more difficult. You still have to be able to work on the older stuff.
There you go. There's an article from the Navy Times about it. Ironically, almost 2 years ago.
There you go. Wow. It's on the internet. It's true.
Well,
Actually, one of the guys I know is a senior chief Navy T. He's been talking about it. He's like, yeah, it's so easy to do this now. I'm like, God, what happened to the good old days when you actually had to be qualified to do it and you had to get contacts if you wore glasses and stuff?
yeah, actually, wasn't that one of the only times that the Navy actually allowed contacts while on watch, technically?
Yes, and I took full advantage of that every watch that I stood. Because even as a messenger or the nav watch underway, where I had freedom to roam, they would often say, "Hey, come hop on the scope for a few minutes. Give me a rest." Okay, not that I don't mind Periscope Liberty.
No, so now here's a question for you. Even though I was on an aircraft carrier, which is quite the sizable ship, we still actually had to combat eye fatigue and also vision issues if you stayed inside of the skin of the ship and amongst the smaller spaces for too long. How would you guys on the sub actually deal with that and actually get to exercise your eyes so you didn't significantly affect your vision?
Well, first of all, when going up at night to periscope depth, we would go from what we would call white light, which is your standard everyday fluorescent lights at the time when I was in,
Mm.
to low light, where you turn off about half to three-fourths of the lights in control, start blocking off any entrances with curtains before the doorway, turn off the lights in front of those doors, um, and then um, and then you would end up going to um, either black or red. Generally red, just so that way the people in control could see where they're going. But if it was a new moon night, it was black, and you walked around with a red flashlight just to make sure you'd see where you're going. Most of us, by the time that you're in control long enough, you you could see your way through the dark without even having to worry about it because you knew where everything was. And I was on a big boat. I wasn't even on one of the small fast attacks. So see if I still have that picture of my boat in dry dock.
Sorry, we kind of co-opted your.
Yeah. Well, Boldy ran off. He complained, saying that I wouldn't let it play, which of course I played it all except the very end, which was a little repetitive. So, yeah, it was just a bunch of lies. So.
Oh, well, let me pull up this picture, but it's not even my boat anyways.
Well, while you're getting that over to him, so it was an interesting difference between the two, because when we went to what would have been taps, what would have been sundown on the carriers and the surface ships, what they would actually do is go to sock slidings, which is you would switch from the white fluorescent to a red fluorescent in all the berthing spaces and any space that could potentially leak to the outside environment. The only differences to this on the carrier were the hangar bay, and the flight deck, which were already open air and everything, where instead of going to a red light, it was an orange light. So you had a little more visibility, but you still had a low propagation distance.
Yeah, it was really awkward going from nav center, where we, even with the lights turned off in front of the doorway there, we still had quite a bit of lighting in our space. So you literally had to open up the curtain if you're going out to control. Open up the curtain, shut the curtain, make sure it was fully shut before you even thought about opening the door. Once you open the door, any light that could get around the curtain's going right out there and wreaking havoc on people in there. So that's why you had to be quick about it.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people don't appreciate it. I mean, that's why when I drive at night, I get a little sensitive when people are driving with their high beams on. So this was when the USS Ohio was being converted from a ballistic missile to a guided missile submarine. It's 560 feet long, about 42-ish feet at the beam in the center there.
That's pretty cool. So what's the difference between ballistic and guided missiles?
Ballistic missiles may or may not potentially have nuclear warheads attached to them, whereas the guided missiles are more of like your Tomahawks and whatnot. And inside the tube for one of the ballistic missiles, you can fit about 8 to 12 Tomahawks in there
at the same time, so you can launch
at the same time.
that many in then one shot.
Yeah.
Wow. So are the ballistic missiles not guided?
Oh, they're guided. What it is they're given a position from nav center where the ship is at physically. That's why it's important for us to have the redundant gyro system. Then once it's launched out, once it breaks the surface and ignites its engines, it's looking for the nearest satellites to confirm its location, and then it knows how to arc itself into the trajectory to go towards its target.
Okay.
There's YouTube videos of DASOs and whatnot where they show the missiles breaking the surface.
Well, the biggest difference between the two, aside from the payload difference between 24 ballistic missile capacity with the potential for a warhead with multiple reentry vehicles versus the 8 to 12 Tomahawks per tube with 24 tubes per per missile boat per submarine. You also have a distance and also method of attack difference, whereas your guided missiles tend to be more of a tactical response, more of a small target at the distance that the Tomahawk can go to, which I'll be honest, it's been so long I can't remember the exact target range for it, but the Trident D5.
I'm pulling it up.
Yeah, okay. That its range is scary when you can do it. We actually on VTW used to every now and then play the game of how screwed are we? And Jay here would love to pick an Ohio class submarine with the Trident system, pick a random spot in, say, the Pacific Ocean, and show just how far they could reach out and touch someone.
You mean like this that I'm sharing my screen on now?
Oh, hold on. I'll bring you up more. The flat earthers aren't going to understand that at all.
So I literally, here, let me zoom in a little bit, get a little bit closer to the pier side roughly. Okay. That's roughly where we sit at the pier. I can hit anywhere along this line from Washington State. Roughly.
Wow. So
And that's with the Trident D5 missile.
you know those routes would are interesting. Now if it were in the southern hemisphere, would it just be the mirror image of this?
Yeah.
I ask rhetorically. Yeah.
Well, let's go to the north. Let's go sit in the North Pole area. And look how close that is to just a little bit beyond the
just
equator.
yeah. Now put that down in the southern tip of South America there. There you go. So
Alaska's safe.
Yep, most of Canada is safe. Unfortunately, Minnesota is not.
oh. But this would not work if it were flat. So either it's not flat or the Navy is lying to themselves.
Yep. Now let's see here. About right there. Oh, just a little bit outside of the range. There we go. There's a funny meme that I shared, or that gets shared in our submarine groups on Facebook, about the Falkland Islands and about how Argentina should not mess with the UK because they also use the Trident D5 missile. That's about how far away from the UK they actually have to be. About, I'd say, a good 500 nautical miles, roughly, give or take, to be able to hit the Falkland Islands down here.
Yeah, that's not far.
So, and the thing about these is they were really meant to be, a deterrent against the Soviet Union, now Russia, whatever you want to say. That we could put one of these subs just about anywhere in the Pacific or the Atlantic Ocean, and cover the entire region.
Oh yeah, look at that.
That was the Soviet Union. And I mean, it's scary to think. And being underway, you get bored a lot. I've actually thought about, how I could go rogue on one of these, vessels and actually take it over. And I would only need a handful of people just to take it over. Now, to maintain long term, I'd need to have quite a few more people, but just the initial takeover, I wouldn't have to have too many. And right over here, have you ever read the book Blind Man's Bluff?
I have not.
It's about Cold War espionage with submarines. Really good book. But the Russians used to have an unsecured phone line right in this area that we tapped with a mechanical listening device that could withstand the sea, water, the pressure, and everything for up to a year, just constantly recording all the phone calls.
Wow.
And we would just listen to them. The whole of the Atlantic and most of the Pacific is covered by sonar nets, which are known to the public as SOSUS. So, but you like how it's got this little globe here, kind of showing you the representation of that coverage chart.
Yeah.
So,
again, amazing. Either it's a globe or the Navy is lying to themselves.
well, you know what they will say.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
Where did they got it? Oh, it didn't go from here, but I could sit here and talk about this for hours.
Yeah. So somebody was saying, Brenda Rua says, "Sorry, honey, but GPS towers is just the most dumbass thing you could come up with. You'd make a stone weep." So who was Lemonbird talking GPS towers? Getting it all wrong? Oh, people.
Because I'm still waiting for Lemonbird to answer this question. If GPS is all ground-based, and we know that the frequency and power of the signal is not susceptible to atmospheric skip, why are all the GPS antennas on aircraft on the top of the airframe?
Yeah, you'll get no answer.
Yeah.
Don't hold your breath is basically what you need to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to Twitter here. I was recently in Anchorage and flew there from Minnesota to Anchorage, and let's see, I'm gonna find my I gotta first show you this one. Hold on.
Now, don't you know eating raw cookie dough will make you sick?
You saw it.
Oh, I like that one. Yeah.
Don't feel bad. I'm guilty too.
It's vegetables. Oh, crap. So I did that because my kid comes walking in to the living room while we're watching something, and he's like, "Worst cookie dough ever." He's all upset. Like, "Oh, I could put that online." All right. That wasn't why I came here. Let's see.
Happy accident.
Yes. So, all right, the video, or not the video, the when I went from Anchorage back to Minnesota, this is the middle of the night. So maybe Lemonbird has a good explanation for this one. You can see the coordinates up above there. It's 60 degrees north and 128.7 degrees west, which puts it right over the middle of the Yukon Territory. And Simon Dan's asking, did we win? Of course we won. They brought no evidence. So here is the sun below eye level. Or sorry, that's the moon, not the sun. And way below that is the clouds, and below the clouds is the horizon. So we have successful GPS coordinates over the Yukon Territory where there's no people and no towers, and we're 35,000 feet up. So how's it get there? And the moon is below eye level, and so is the horizon. So Lemonbird, you got
Magic.
something? You got something for that? Is it going to be magical perspective?
I think he'll go with the pixie farts this time.
Pixie farts?
Yeah.
Sounds good.
By the way, Jared, I played my favorite game on Minneapolis.
How bad is it?
Oh, how about I share my screen one more time?
Uh-oh. Does that mean Minneapolis is ruined?
Oh,
Just a little bit.
statement. So 1.6 million fatalities, 1.2 million injuries.
And this is with the largest bomb ever designed, not actually tested.
So, oh my. Doesn't
So this
look
first-
good.
So
Oh,
this
that's
first
not
one
all,
here,
That's not all of it. Okay.
yeah, that's just the fireball radius.
Is the first one there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Then you have the air blast radius, thermal radiation, and then how far away you would actually feel the air blast at 1 psi. This is at 5 psi.
And what kind of is that? A nuke?
Yeah, that's a nuke. It's
Okay.
called the Tsar Bomba, the 100
Oh.
megaton.
Yes. Yep.
You can select the various types.
Oh, okay.
Now, what's also interesting is you'll get a Fallout.
Oh, that's
On the
Project-
ones that are tested.
Yeah.
So this is the little brother of the Tsar Bomba, the 50 megaton that was actually tested.
Wow.
And as you drag this around to which way the prevailing winds are
Oh,
going
I
to be
see.
going. I wonder how far this will go if I point it in this general direction. Oh, not quite to my family's old stomping grounds.
Well, I was going to
Up
ask,
here.
are you trying to get to... Oh, you were trying to get to George. How dare you?
To George.
Not to George. To my family.
Where's that?
International Falls. Yeah.
Nice. Is that where you're from?
Yeah. Yeah, I was actually born up in Little Rock up there.
There's a town called Little Rock?
Or Little Rock? What is it? It's been a while since I've been up there.
Your memories
Trust me,
your memories from when you were born are foggy?
no, not even that. My memories, Little Fork, that's what I was thinking of.
Okay.
Last time I looked at my birth certificate was about a decade ago when I was filing for my passport. So since then I've moved it away.
Nice.
But yeah, I would just randomly pick cities. Like you can actually pick predestined sites.
Oh
So
yeah.
can we get,
North Korea there.
depending on the prevailing winds, we could still get Seoul. Not that we want to, but
Yeah, you don't want to do that too bad.
Now, the interesting one is go to Tokyo.
go to Tokyo.
Oh,
Okay.
the density.
And then bring the prevailing winds to the south.
Dead South.
Dead south. Because that'll get the Navy base.
Yeah.
11 million dead.
And,
Plus
10
another.
and another 10.3 injured.
Well, you guys are dark.
Well, so this is part of it is to show people that it's not just Tokyo proper that is that densely populated. The population centers of the majority of Japan, especially the main island of Honshu there, are that densely populated. The problem is there's so much mountainous terrain that you can't really build an adequate house on, especially historically, that you'll notice the majority of your metropolitan centers that are actually listed here are in valleys and along the shoreline, because that's the only place they could get flat enough land to actually build on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So this is the actual Hiroshima bomb at Hiroshima, if it were like plotted geographically in the center of town. That's what the estimated fatalities would be. That's the estimated injuries. I believe it's pretty close.
Yeah.
But when you start factoring in, bigger bombs like where is the? Come on.
The Castle Bravo.
Yeah. There we go. This is what a Trident D5 would look like in Hiroshima. And it wouldn't be necessarily as bad out this way as it would be a lot of it being reflected back inwards and out this way. Especially the pressure waves when it bounces off.
Alchemist in the chat. Shall we play a game?
Pretty much. We haven't done this in a while on BTW. We should probably do it again.
Haven't.
Astro Rex, I'm just back. Are we bombing Japan? it certainly changed topic. Well, hey, I brought this out. Let me show you. Because I have a challenge, a flight map challenge, or not a flight map, a map challenge like Flat Out Hero. I put out back in like January, and or December, and he nobody's for some reason done it. But if the Earth is flat, you'd win. So, but I built this for my wife for a candle holder, but the same thing I'm going to build if anybody ever wins it, and then you get the
model of the Earth.
Yeah, the flat Earth, and I'll put a flat Earth map of your choice in there. But you can see that sits there. In the meantime, we get the glowing globe. Can you see that well? It sits there.
Nice.
Until then. So, anyway, probably good time to start wrapping it up here.
Yeah, agreed. I am starting to fade, and I got class in 7 hours. Yay!
What's the topic in class, or what class is this one?
Honestly, I can't even remember. I'm still too early. It's still too early in the semester. I have to hang on. Let me grab. Oh, yeah. Philosophy for the sciences, first thing in the morning.
Oh, have fun.
Yeah. Nothing like padding the schedule with stuff that really doesn't matter just so you can claim and have the course load of a full-time student.
Yeah, I got U.S. history to start doing my homework for this week, so yay.
Well, I'm writing email software, so
Yeah, I should get back into my coding studies. I haven't done that in about 2 years. I should probably get back into that.
yeah. People in the chat are talking old tech. My first modem was a 1200 baud Apple IIc. People were wondering what was the modem used in war games. And
Ancient.
I don't remember. Yeah. So, all right. Well, it was good. Thanks for joining. Thoughts by Jay Brown and AT2 Productions, Jared. And I don't know.
Thanks for having us on.
Yeah.
Always a pleasure.
Let's see. What do? I got to do the outro video. All right, here it goes.